For all of you who listen to Mackey's Second Floor Studios presents Submersion and own an Android device, do me a favor. Go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcasts I want to listen to, select them as favorites, and have them all just a click away. Make sure to set Mackey's Second Floor Studios as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices.
Episode 41.
Woo!
And it's a very special episode because we have Patrick on tonight.
Live from London, baby.
Oh.
As usual, live from London.
I'm live-ish, and this is also a very special episode because it's a crossover episode.
It is.
With the Bad Movie Twins, because this week we are doing this movie for the website as well, since it came out and got bad enough reviews for us to watch. And it's also special, so three times special, 3 layers. This is a live film. So this is a film in theaters. This is a Submersion live.
We haven't had an opportunity to do this yet before.
Right. And unsurprisingly, that meant no one else watched it but me and Kyle and Patrick, because no one wants to pay money for the shit.
Well,
it's true.
I will.
Oh,
and
no. I got it for cheap, too. I got $5. That was my...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got 6, and I thought that was a steal.
Well,
So
I went to Cinemagic, so that was it's a not a great place.
Gosh!
Yeah, it smelled bad. I did not like it.
So usually,
and I was the only one in the theater.
Usually you guys do stories, right? Up at the top?
Oh, yeah. I would say. We're chit-chat.
Yeah. You had an interesting time seeing this movie.
Yeah, so the main thing is that the theater schedule in London is a little bit tighter than in the US. So it was about 10 days out in theaters. I saw it the day before it left theaters. It was probably like the third to last showing. Every showing was basically at 11 p.m., which would have been a nightmare. But I found one where I could just leave work early because I'm cool like that. And I could see it at 5:30 in the afternoon, which was absurd. But these are the times that I was able to see it. But the key really is that there are 2 main theater chains in England, Cineworld, which I hate and smells bad and is dirty and gross, and then View, which gave me delicious £5 viewings every week. And then I went to this View in Westfield, and it cost me £13, which is like $17, which is just like a goddamn nightmare. So I was quite piqued that I had to spend that much money on Hunter Killer, I have to say.
So we, just to be perfectly frank with the audience, we missed most of your story, and thank God you just kept on talking.
Yeah,
because
I could hear you in the background. What, getting beers? I assume.
No,
sure, go with that.
Yeah, Kyle was going and fixing. What did you even do? You seemed like
I flipped a switch.
He flipped a switch, and everything went back to what it was.
Excellent.
So now we can hear everything. Everything's great.
You guys got any beers over there, though?
Oh, we do. We got some.
Of course we do.
Yeah,
I'll give you each one guess to guess what beer I'm currently drinking.
Boddington.
No.
You are drinking.
Great guess, Kyle. That's
a good guess.
Bizarrely good guess. But go on.
You are drinking just a Guinness. It's sweet, delicious Guinness.
Do you know what they love in England? Jolly old England? Corona. So got some Corona.
Really?
Are you serious?
They love
Find
Corona.
your beach, huh?
Yeah. It is like the Heineken of America, but in England is Corona. It's like the foreign.
Do people like that Heineken here?
Yeah, presumably. I think in the U.S. they do because it's like foreign tasting.
Yeah, it tastes foreign. That was like the story with Heineken. Was that they went there and they found out that it's skunked basically. It's like just skunked beer. Same with the Corona and same with and Rolling Rock was actually the famous one because Rolling Rock was the one that has like a bacteria that grows in their tanks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
no, that's Miller.
Everyone was like,
that's Miller, isn't it? That's why it tastes like corn.
That was Rolling Rock.
Well, Miller tastes like corn because of their weird bacteria. But anyways,
well, maybe.
Well, we don't want to hurt any beer lovers fans.
No, we do not.
Or their feelings, I mean.
Dive. Yeah, they are not sponsors.
No.
Yeah, so if they want to get badmouthed by us, they better sponsor us.
Well, if they don't want to get badmouthed.
They had to pay us to not talk about them?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hold them hostage. All right. So we haven't even really mentioned it yet. But
I think everybody knows. There's only one big sub movie that's come out lately.
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East, Second Floor Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, Alex the Mustard Man, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Brain, Kyle El Capitan, and Zach the Backbone present Submersion.
So Patrick, what did we watch?
We watched Hunter Killer, starring the amazing Gerard Butler.
You didn't pronounce that right.
Academy Award-winning Gerard Butler?
Almost, but you didn't pronounce his name right. I think it's Gerard Butler.
Okay. Oldman won an Academy
Your brother
Award,
has quite the grin on after saying that for some reason.
Pretty happy with myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. So yes, this was released in the U.S. October 26, 2018. Directed by Donovan Marsh. Stars, as we mentioned, how do you say it again?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, famous from 300, Law Abiding Citizen, and a movie you and I saw in theaters together, Geostorm.
Geostorm.
Playing for keeps as well, obviously.
Yeah, obviously playing for keeps as well.
Duh.
Yeah.
Also has Gary Oldman from The Dark Knight, Darkest Hour. I was looking for all movies with dark. But
Red Riding Hood.
Too. There you go.
Obviously. Transcendence.
Harry Potter and Book of Eli.
Scarlet
Common. Rapper turned actor.
I don't know anything that Common's in. Was he in the
Wanted?
Queen Latifah film?
Suicide Squad, and John Wick Chapter 2.
He's possibly in multiple Queen Latifah films. It's unclear.
Yeah, probably.
Michael Nyquist, that's how you say it. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
From Abduction, starring Taylor Lautner.
Oh, great film, Taylor Lautner.
He's also in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish versions.
Yes. Yeah, no, you pronounced that wrong. It's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
He's also in a John Wick movie, the first one, and he is in another submarine movie coming out, Cursed.
I know. He's like his last two films, basically, before he passed away, unfortunately.
Subs. And Linda Cardellini from Bloodline, Scooby-Doo, and Daddy's Home.
No.
Mainly Freaks and Geeks. But
yeah, Freaks and Geeks is what she's famous for.
Oh, okay.
And Grandma's Boy, right? Wasn't she Grandma's Boy?
I think she was.
She was Grandma's Boy, but I think if you were going to say like the two most famous things, it's actually probably Scooby-Doo and Freaks and Geeks.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Actually.
All right. So, do you have anything from, because we, for badmovietwins.com, every time we produce a long preview for a film that kind of goes through everything. I mean, we talk about the poster, which I thought was great. The tagline was fine. But was there anything that stood out to you, Patrick, or anything you can remember from it that stood out?
I mean, the thing that I remember in P's view on the preview, which is, I'm not sure that's on the site yet, but it was mainly like the director. I thought it was a strange choice for the director, I thought, because I don't think he had ever done a U.S. production before. I don't know, I think this is a U.S. production. It might be British. I don't really know, but he's South African, and he had done a few different South African films, but that's it. He had done, like, one of them is called Spud, which is like his biggest film he'd ever done. I never heard of it. So I thought it was an interesting choice to head up
interesting.
A film that would be so technically complicated potentially as a submarine film. You can imagine. Yeah. I imagine is like somewhat technically complicated to like maneuver.
Well, it's got to be.
So
something that I also glossed over, I didn't mean to. This movie, well, it's only been out since October, has already been nominated for Best Picture, Best Directing, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Editing, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Movie of all time.
Really?
Wow.
What awards is that for?
Oh, the Submersion Awards.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kyle's choices. Like, that doesn't flow. Anyways, so shall we get into it?
That's up to Patrick.
Patrick, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So
we just wanted to give him the power for a second to take it back.
So we open, and we're in the Barents Sea. Is that right, Barents Sea? I don't even know. Yeah, was that right? We're up by the Yukon or some shit, whatever. And we see a submarine, the heroes, the Americans. Duh.
USS Tampa Bay.
They're creeping along. USS Tampa Bay. They're creeping along, and they're right in the baffles.
All right. First off, should this have been called the USS Fitzmagic?
Obviously, yes, it should have been.
All right.
Yeah.
I took that down on my notes.
It would make sense because it sunk in the end. Hey,
shit.
Crushed
wow,
Crushed
man.
Crushed it.
Actually, I should say to Fitzmagic, who is a listener, I'm sorry, and come on to the podcast, please.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on.
Yep. And so they're creeping along. They're in the baffles. So obviously the other submarine can't hear them. It's a Russian submarine and they're creeping along and it's been a cat and mouse game for a while. That's kind of what they say. It's like how they've been kind of tailing each other. All of a sudden there's an explosion on this Russian submarine and they don't know what's going on. The Americans don't know what's going on. And they're like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And all of a sudden they hear a torpedo from above coming at them as well. Yep. So at this point we assume, oh, this other submarine was hit by a torpedo and now they're getting hit by a torpedo. This will turn out to not be the case, but this is what at least I assumed when I was first watching it.
I wasn't even sure. Did that, the one that hit the USS Fitzmagic, did that come from the air?
It came from above.
No, it came from above. That submarine that was hiding in the ice.
Yes. All right.
That was the one who killed them.
Right.
Because when we saw that later, I thought, is that the one? Or was this some kind of air-to-sea missile that is never going to be explained?
Yeah, originally I thought it was that. I think it was that Russian submarine that we see later. It's a little confusing as to why it wasn't that submarine just hit both of them. But I guess it was kind of supposed to be it was supposed to be set up such that the American ship hit the Russian ship and then the Russian boat. And then the Russian boat responded and hit the American boat. So it needed to make it look like it wasn't both just the Russian boat that did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they get hit and they go down. And we smash cut over to Common, who is some kind of military analyst.
And dude, he is commanding some control room like a total boss.
For sure. And we get the idea that he's high up in the government, but he's not Gary Oldman high up.
Let's just say he can go into Gary Oldman's office, who appears to be a very high-level national security advisor with the Navy. He's just like, I need a second.
No, he's like the chief of whatever. He's the big dog. He's the guy who commands all of the military, right?
All right, so he's the Navy,
potentially the whatever of the Navy. But regardless,
no. He commands all. He's whatever it's called.
The defense, whatever.
No,
he's saying minister, but
he's right below
British.
that. Yeah, he's right below that. Anyways, we can figure it out.
Well, Gary Oldman's title was CJCS.
Yeah.
Charles Donegan, whatever that is.
Yeah, Admiral Charles
was
Donegan.
R.A. John Fisk.
Anyways.
So Common is high enough that he can get like his ear. He can be like, I need a second.
Yeah. Excuse me, let me talk to Gary Oldman.
Right.
Clear the room, please. Yeah. Actually, let's go in this vestibule over here. This beautiful vestibule.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so he goes in, basically he goes to get Gary Oldman. It's like, something has happened. And Gary Oldman immediately is like, fucking war, right? Right, guys?
Let's get on it.
Fucking war. And he just he rips off his jacket and he's totally bare chested and so muscly. And it's like, weird. Okay.
A bald eagle lands right on his shoulder.
Yeah. He also has an American accent in this film, which I found amusing, but that's just because I feel like Gary Oldman used to always do weird accents. That wasn't his own accent.
Yeah.
And then in the past 10 years, he's abandoned that and just go back to his regular British accent for every role. So it's weird to see him kind of almost be a Southern person. Oh, he's Southern in this one. Okay. Sure. Why not?
But anyways, at this point, Gary Oldman is like, what commander are we sending out to handle this? And Common's like, I think we have to go with something a little bit different here.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
He's like, because Gary Oldman's like, we don't even have anything up there. We don't have any submarines up there. He's like, we do. We have the Arkansas. He's like, but the Arkansas just lost his commander. And he's like, well, I already put a new commander in there. And his name is Glass, baby.
Oh, and then smash cut on over to Scotland where we see our new captain, Gerard Butler, hunting elk.
Yeah.
Bow hunting.
Which I looked up. There are no elk in Scotland. There are red deer, so maybe it was that.
I think why do we love Gerard Butler's character immediately? Because he sees a little baby deer family and is like, you know what? You guys are okay. He tips their hat. Yeah. He's like, you go along, Papa Deer. So he says.
Yeah. So this is how you know he's not fit to lead, right here.
So Kyle, if you were out hunting, would you have taken the shot, or do you also leave cute families of deer alone?
I've often been conflicted with something like that. For instance, if I was out bear hunting or something like that, would you, if you saw a bear with cubs? You don't know.
I wouldn't kill any.
It takes a lot.
I'm not going to kill any animals. I don't understand what's happening. So
yeah.
I think at that point, the rule of thumb is that if there's babies with them, you have to defeat them in hand-to-hand combat.
I like that.
Yeah. So if you can beat the bear, then you get it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. So then you get to take the cubs home.
Right. And the cubs have to. You're now their mom.
Yeah.
Great.
But here's a little pop quiz, Hot Shots.
Okay.
What I couldn't, maybe I misunderstood it, but could you kind of glean why was Gerard Butler like an interesting choice as submarine captain?
Because he didn't go to the academy, so he didn't go to the Naval Academy at all. Mm-hmm. He basically worked his way up from the bottom. So he was like a grunt and did like all the jobs on the submarine. And so he was like, they even say like he was like a grease monkey basically.
Oh yeah,
like he's he's one of more us. Or less a mechanic. Yeah.
He's a real Borgnine in this situation.
He is definitely a Borgnine.
Also, what and then he's carrying around a coin. This is all happening at the same time. I'm not interrupting. What is the coin though as well?
What is the coin?
Yeah, what did it say on it? It was like the USS Mercer or something? It was something.
No, it was USS Wichita. So he was on the Wichita, and basically he's been on like a million boats, and the Wichita was one where they had a really close call, I think. And
it was notorious for also being dirty and gross or something, he said.
Yeah. It was like just a really like it's a real rust bucket.
It was they had some locker room talk, I think is what you might glean from the conversation.
Sure, maybe. So anyways, he gathers the troops. So this is actually kind of a funny part because it's like the XO, who's just a Debbie Downer wet blanket this entire time. He sucks. Like I just wanted him gone. He was always like, "You can't do that."
I was waiting.
Court-martialed to be like, "You shut up, man."
Yeah, I was waiting for the absolutely worst, most ill-timed mutiny of all time in any submarine movie. Was him doing it and everyone being like, "No, what? Who the fuck?"
That happened down Periscope.
Yeah.
That's a joke in down Periscope.
Would have been great.
And so he gathers the troops. They're like, "We're never going to find them." And Gerard Butler's like, let's plan this out.
Because this is one of the cliches. He gets command of the boat, and he says, "We need to get everybody back." Well, they've just been granted shore leave for 2 days. So we're never going to find them.
So normally, like Armageddon, you'd see them gather the people like. One person's out hunting, one person's on a rodeo, one person's at something, one person's gambling, one person's at a strip club. But instead he's like, there's 2 bars in this fucking town.
Yeah. He's like, you check one, I'll check the other.
And they get everyone on. And they load it all up. And you can hear some grumbling from the crew. They're not sure about this guy, this new commander. Yeah. He's not your typical commander at all.
I heard he didn't shoot a deer when he had the chance.
Yeah, everyone's heard about the story about him not shooting a deer. And they're like, I want him to fuck up that deer. Come on. Yeah. I brought a deer on board just so we could beat it to shit here. And so he goes around like checking on stuff, and he does like a little speech where he's like, I'm one of you, like, and you better, if you think I'm not going to run a tight ship because of that, like, so fuck you, whatever.
It was kind of weird because he's like
challenging everyone.
He's like, I've done your jobs. I can do them better than you, but I'm not gonna, you have to do it. Yeah, I was like, what is this?
And at the end of it, he said, like, anyone who doesn't think I'm fit to command, raise your hand and we can fight it out right now. And then they got a ring together, and he greased himself up, and they did Greco-Roman wrestling for a while. It was strange.
It was pretty impressive. Yeah. That was the first.
It was actually most of the movie was Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, the first dick was his greased up dick at the Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yes. 100%.
Can I get on some dick jokes here? I finally did it.
You're allowed. I allow it.
I did it.
And so anyways, he's got this lucky coin. Basically, this is a ripoff. If you guys haven't listened to Steel Sharks episode of this is Steel Sharks. This is the same as Steel Sharks. They ripped off a Gary Busey movie called Steel Sharks.
All right, hold on.
It's very strange.
Not just Gary Busey, but Billy Warlock and Billy D. Williams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing this?
Yeah. Well, and the Billy Warlock thing, because then we go over, and another thing that Oldman wants is he wants someone with some eyes on the ground up in Russia.
Oh,
because they know that the president is going out to this like naval base out there. So like something's up. I don't like coincidences. Let's get some eyes on the ground.
I thought Gary Oldman was like, let's go to war, and Common and what's her face was like,
Linda.
How about we can maybe get some eyes and ears on the ground and then do an extraction.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I thought it was Gary Oldman who was like,
no, Gary Oldman was like, let's blow the shit out of Russia, is what he said.
Well, but you can understand the problem, right? Because Linda Cardellini and Gary Oldman, I mean, they may as well be twins. I could barely tell them apart.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Quite the compliment to Gary Oldman, and quite the diss to Linda.
No. Just to Gary Oldman.
Oh, okay.
She's a beautiful woman, and so is Gary Oldman. Then we smash cut over to Tajikistan, classic, where a bunch of American special forces are doing some training. And boy, howdy. So how would you describe, Patrick? How would you describe the young guy of this group?
He just wants to try his best. He is eager to please. He's a little eager beaver. And the main veteran guy is like his tough father figure. And he's just like, run up this ramp, and you're always 1 second late, and you got us all killed, and you suck, and I hate you. but secretly I love you, and I'm the father you never knew. That's basically what the relationship is.
That's more or less what it is. I would also say from a bad movie or movie twins perspective, he's a little bit of a planchette being a character who just tries his damnedest and loves everyone and just wants to be the best, and everyone just shits on him all day. So he's kind of like that, except he's not big and fat. Like that's usually a planchette's usually like a chubby guy, but he's a special forces like badass.
No, he's total badass. But anyway, he fails at this training mission. And you can tell everybody's real down on him. And, right at this moment, you should know, some point later in the movie, he's going to get an opportunity to redeem himself.
He's got to. Yeah.
And everyone's not down on him. They're like his big brothers and his father.
Yeah.
They just want best. They need to keep him humble. That's basically what it is.
It's the father and then the tough older brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they get the mission. They're going to be heading into Russia.
Yeah. It's a real emotional movie.
Yeah. And so they head out. And so when we were talking about Steel Sharks, this is basically Billy Warlock at this point. They're the special forces. Like, what's going on here? Like, what the hell is going on? How did you rip off Steel Sharks? It's like
who's ever seen that movie other than us?
Whoever wrote this 1 million times probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they start heading up to where they need to be. I really could have used a little bit of a drill here by Gerard Butler. No drill to kind of establish that he's like means business, which is usually how they do it in the submarine. I was disappointed in that.
There was nothing. But did you notice we had some actually pretty fantastic exterior shots of the sub diving, and I was so elated when you looked at that submarine and what is fastened right to the top.
A little mini sub, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't be that mini sub.
Yeah.
Should we explain what's happening in Russia, by the way?
Yeah, so we got to explain this. I mean, these are the three storylines. So then Russian president has arrived at this naval base, and it becomes instantly clear that there is a coup afoot.
Oh, yeah.
The defense minister basically sequesters him, cuts off all communication, and is like, I now own you, bitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So...
And you look at that guy, you're like, how could that guy overthrow the
He looks
president?
like a frog, or like a turd dressed in like a
frog suit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like a lumpy frog person. Anyways, he sucks. He's real tiny. He's like so small.
No offense.
He's like really short. Yeah, no offense. We want you on. Please come on the podcast.
Tiny turd frog man.
So that's basically what's going on. So he wants to trigger a war because if he trigger a war, then he gets to basically rule.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he wants to frame the U.S. for it. That's pretty clear. He wants to trigger a war, frame the U.S., turn the entire world against the U.S., and then take control after basically assassinating the president. He's going to take control of Russia as like a leader in the world. That's the idea.
Right. Oh, yeah. Because who wouldn't want to sit across the table from that guy? He just, is radiating authority.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, cut back over to the Arkansas. They are up investigating the crash site of the USS Fitzmagic, and things are kind of, they check that out. They send out a mini ROV.
Well, they hear like a dinging, like something dinging, and they actually think it might be the Fitzmagic, and so they go over there, and they find it, but it's clear there's not going to be any survivors. They send out this little, basically a torpedo robot.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we just call it that? A tor robot, a ropedo?
No. A robotic eel. Yes.
Oh, very good. Robotic eel. So a little robotic eel. Robo eel goes out, and it checks it out, and there's just like dead bodies. Real gross. I got real spooked at this point, so I had my eyes closed for the next 40 to 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. But I kind of gleaned what was going on. But like everyone's dead, and clearly no one was able to survive the American ship
at all.
Yeah. And all of a sudden at this point, there's a bogey.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because up above them is this fucking Russian sub.
Yeah, and it is hiding directly underneath the ice.
And I did love this little scene because they shoot some fish into the
but they
water.
Don't call them fish.
They don't.
I was disappointed.
And they shoot out some, Arkansas shoots out some countermeasures and starts diving and evading and stuff like that. And then they're able to evade the first one and kind of come back. And Gerard Butler does some fancy moves and shoots off his own torpedoes. So they're able to get some torpedoes off.
And this is a big thing in the sub community right now because he screams fire.
Yeah.
And you would not do that.
There's a couple things he screams that is not good.
He also calls it a ship screaming.
Calls her ship. He says,
I was so mad at that.
He says "Uras" at one point. Like,
yeah,
that's not what? That's weird. Like even I know that. That's weird. Anyways,
it's not you guys. Come on.
I watched Jarhead. Come on.
I watch NCIS. I know what Marines say and what submarine captains say.
Right.
Good.
And so, but they're like, I just love this part where the Russian captain's basically like, "You can never hit us or by the ice." And
and at first it works.
But then Gerard Butler's like, turn it around because like he's up the fuck out of the ice, and they totally fuck up the submarine.
Yeah.
They don't even try to maneuver, get away, or anything.
Nah, he's like, I'm totally safe because of this fucking ice.
Yeah, he's like, holy shit, I screwed that up.
I'll describe this as the first. Gerard Butler's flipping coins in his submarine, and this is the first of about 20 heads he calls right in a row. That he nails every decision flawlessly, and it is the most upsetting thing about this movie personally is the fact that Gerard Butler makes zero mistakes. He's just like, turn it around, go to 0.5 depth, and everyone's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is not going to work." And they turn around like, "Holy shit, he did it!" And then later on, he's like, "Go." Then right after this, he's like, "Go toward the Tampa Bay," and he's like, "And you turn now," and they literally they're like little fins brush the Tampa Bay as a torpedo hits it. And I'm sitting there like,
word.
He's like a savant.
So that was the animated it, right? That's right,
yeah. He was able to maneuver this submarine like it was a fighter jet. He could turn that thing on a dime. It was like he was
swimming through the water. That's how like he was just like, "And I'm going to turn now." And it's just like,
if only, yeah.
And he's just sitting inside a little tiny, like, it's like a ridiculous, I think that's the most ridiculous part of the entire film is he makes zero poor decisions in the entire film. Every single decision he makes is 100% correct.
My most disappointing thing is that coin did not stop a bullet or distract someone so they could kill them.
So, yeah, that would have been great if the guy with the Russian coup, was about to shoot somebody.
Steel Sharks,
the coin at him.
It is Still Sharks. It is Still Sharks. Rewatch Still Sharks and listen to our episode again, everyone. Make sure you download that and
the magic
really
coin.
smash those like buttons.
Yeah.
So anyways, they hear the dinging. The dinging's still going on, so it wasn't clearly, definitely 100% was not the Fitzmagic. So that's gone. Fitzmagic blowed up. And so they head over there. And they send out now the mini sub. Thank God.
Oh, yeah.
I love the mini sub scenes too, because everything had to be like 100% like crazy. They were like, "We're going to get crushed like a can of beer." Yeah. And like, they were like, "There's a riptide." Oh, when they were trying to like move it around. All kinds of stuff.
They were focused a long time on that thing.
I know, it's crazy. Current. And then they just nailed it and it was fine. Like, there wasn't anything
what the
crazy
hell,
happening.
guys? Come on.
Should I mention that 0 people die in the submarine as well throughout the entire movie?
That's true.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Someone get crushed by a torpedo. Come on.
Well, even the guy who got crushed by a torpedo survived. Spoiler alert.
That's another one on our checklist, Accident in the torpedo room.
Yeah, I got it. But that's later. Yeah. Anyways, they get there, they bring up some people, and everyone's kind of pissed about this. They don't want to rescue these people from the Russian submarine because they're like, "We just got shot at by a Russian submarine, so why are we rescuing these people from this Russian submarine?"
Yeah, they're not humans.
Right. But I don't know. I feel like that's also wrong militarily. Like militarily, they would obviously rescue those people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Because you're going to pump them for info.
Right. And it's not like you are desperate and it's going to compromise the boat or the mission. Like, it doesn't either of those things.
I will say that also sailors and soldiers aren't monsters. They're not literal garbage people. So they would probably be like, "Let's save human beings who are trapped inside a submarine instead of letting them die terribly."
You could understand if the submarine was like damaged and was barely going to make it back and like really didn't have any resources, and maybe they'd be like, "We literally can't risk the life of the crew and the ship to do this rescue mission. Sorry." Like, and you move on. The boat was perfectly fine. So like they were obviously going to rescue.
You're underestimating the ability for Gerard Butler to make the correct decision at every moment.
That's true. He probably would have flipped the coin at that point, figured out that A1 hot sauce. They were definitely going to be able to do it.
Oh.
And so they're all pissed, but he gets to talking to this Russian captain because he knows what the mission is. Like in the end, no, he doesn't really know what the mission is. He kind of reports back. Mm-hmm. We get another cutscene where
we're over at the Pentagon again.
Well, he knows who the Russian captain is by reputation.
He knows who he is by reputation. He's like the tip top guy.
He's basically the Gerard Butler of Russian.
Well, the future
captains.
Gerard Butler. Yeah. Or do you think he actually was future Gerard Butler?
Go on.
Well, it's not a good end for Gerard Butler.
We'll do the sequel idea later.
So we cut back over the Pentagon. Gary Oldman is in a war room with the president, who is a lady, and
straight up,
Madam President, and he's like, "We need to go to war." I don't care what you say. We're going to do this. And then Linda and Common are like, no, let's just hold on.
Let's rescue. Oh, because the thing that happened here, what we've seen is that they've gotten some images up from the special forces, and they show the coup is happening. Basically.
And
so they've gotten some images from them. They're kind of sneak up. It was funny, kind of like the special forces sneaking up to this base because they had these giant backpacks on. I was like, how is no one seeing these people?
And you notice what they also had with them? A robotic mini sub.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Another little robotic.
It's like, how many subs can we squeeze in here? I love it.
We had a lot of levels of sub here.
Yeah.
You're
like, send it out.
It's like the inception of submarine movies.
If you consider Robo-Eel as a sub
and
as
so
well.
so they now everyone knows that there's a coup on, and so Linda and Common are like, let's just rescue the Russian president. They're like, rescue the Russian president? He's not even human.
Because like Gary Oldman was the only one with what would probably be a normal reaction. Yeah. They're like, why in the hell are we going to rescue the Russian president? We're going to war with that guy.
Right.
So I should also point out that the Russian president is extraordinarily handsome and dapper. So compared to Frogman McGee, the defense minister. Yeah. So this is a whole other dynamic.
I do want to, he's no Ed Harris, but yes, he's fine.
Now in a lot of movies nowadays, they can get people who look like other people. They couldn't have even made this guy look close to Putin or anything like that.
Yeah, because the lady president 100% looked just like Hillary Clinton. I was going to say Trump, but then I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just say Hillary. Whatever.
Well, there was that,
she did look like Hillary Clinton.
There was that meme with that farmer, I think in Europe, who looked just like Trump. That's funny. We got that person on.
Right. But
the person hasn't been in some movies.
She seemed to be clearly set up to be like a Hillary Clinton type president of sorts.
So this is when we get the extraction?
No.
So there's now two storylines. They're going to do the extraction of the Russian president, and then Gerard Butler's job is to go and get them.
Because they said, yes, we're going to move everyone into position potentially for war, but you also get the chance to rescue. So Common and Linda set up this mission, split. So the special forces are going to go in and extract the president. Then the submarine's going to go into that port, surface, or take the mini sub, pick them up, and then drive away.
Yeah.
Easily. No big deal. Except it is a huge deal.
Because the sub has to navigate this crazy fjord, which is laden with mines, and it's super narrow.
It's basically, it's like every single level of, it's like whatever. I don't care. This movie's great.
Wow.
Whatever. Yeah. So anyways, everyone's like, we're fucked. We can't do this. But they don't account for, one, his lucky coin, obviously, but two, there's this Russian president, and he goes in and talks to this Russian president, and
Whoa, Captain.
Sorry, Captain.
They don't have the president.
Sorry, not the president. Sorry, the captain. They didn't account for the captain, who has obviously navigated this fjord like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Gerard Butler goes in and basically he's like, I know you speak English, and I know who you are. Like, we brushed past each other back in the day. Don't worry about it. And I really want to do Masterpiece Theater. I wanted to get his long monologue here, where he kind of convinces him. But I couldn't find it on the internet, and I feel really bad. Like it would have been so good to be able to go, because it was a really cliche, great monologue. Anyways, he convinces this president this captain that he is like the best, and don't worry about it. I'm Gerard Butler.
One of the things here that he lets him know is something that we forgot to mention earlier. When they sent out that Robo-Eel, they saw a picture of the down sub, and it had exploded from the inside.
Right. Because at first the captain's like, fuck you. But then he sees this and is like, wait a second, why are you showing me this? And maybe this is different than I thought it was.
Right. Maybe I'm having a change of heart.
Yeah. So when he goes to when they go back to the boat and they're starting to navigate, they start to get into like a little bit of trouble. They're getting into like tough stuff. And then out walks the captain.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit. Well, and Gerard Butler's like, everyone can see my dick. And at this point, you understand what that means. But you haven't seen anything yet. And he lets this Russian captain pull out his dick too and navigate. And everyone's like, kind of like, the XO in particular sucks, is like, fuck you, what? No way. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can because I'm the captain, so fuck you, whatever.
Well, they're saying there's all this top secret information. That was a big part of it.
The Russian captain helps them navigate this fjord. And so like, here you have to be real quiet. And here you have to like go real low. And here you have to like go right next to this wall. So it's all like the different ways that you get through these things. And then it's like, And what are these? And they're like acoustic whatever or something or others.
Acoustically activated mines.
They're like, well, we can't get past those. It's impossible. It's like, unless it's not the only way to go. And the Russian captain's like, turn right here. And the XO's like, there's nothing down here. We can't turn down here. We can't trust this guy. We're going to run to the wall. And of course,
look at our charts.
Yeah. And of course, it's like, why would the Russian captain kill himself? Anyways, it's not like he's not on the boat.
Right.
I'd say
he's on the boat as well. So go on.
You guys would agree that these are like the most sophisticated anti-submarine booby traps you'll ever see in a film, basically.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there was also a net.
Yeah, there should have been a net. Just a classic net. What are they going to do? I guess they take the mini sub out. But.
A bunch of guys down there, shooting at him,
Oh, that'd have been great.
Frogmen. Yeah.
Frogmen, right?
Anyways. Got to battle those frogmen.
Mm-hmm.
Hand-to-hand combat. How good.
And then the boss battle is the lumpy turd frogman.
Yeah, well, it is. And so then they turn down this little narrow place, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's opening!" And they end up in the port, kind of, and everything's cool.
And they are ready to go. And then we cut over to our SEALs,
and they're ready to extract.
Well, there's something weird. I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, they're hiding in a tower.
Yeah. Well, they were up in the tower, looking around. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because they know that the radio signals are going out, basically. Yeah. So they can detect that someone's around. So they go and search around for them like idiots. Yep. They're just like, are there people up there? I guess not.
They squint. Leave. They're like, well, I can't see anything. Let me squint real quick. No, yeah, nothing.
But why don't I shoot at it real quick?
And it shoots the guy in the leg.
Yeah, why don't I shoot this entire metal structure? There's no way that could possibly ricochet.
It's fine. And the young guy gets his leg hit. So at this point, we're like, may as well die. Forget about him. He's definitely not going to come back and be a hero. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's no way he could do it.
And so they're like, okay, we'll leave him behind, but we got to do our extraction, and we got to do it now. Mm-hmm. And so they go up and they scale. They dive in the water. They scale up the side of the building to where the Russian president is being held.
But hold on. On the way up here.
Oh, they find
so
his bodyguard is so good.
So one of the bodyguards from the president was shot and thrown into the ocean earlier. And they stumble upon this man.
And he's like, oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
He's literally dying. And not even 5 minutes later, he is scaling a cliff with these Navy SEALs.
He's perfectly fine.
You're like, what the hell?
It's like, wait, I'm confused. He was shot in the abdomen and thrown into freezing cold water. And then you have our Navy SEAL shot in the leg. And they're like, he can't come along. There's no way he could help.
Yeah, but this guy can do it.
Straight up. Don't worry about it.
He was unstoppable.
Yeah. It's like, that's his core. He shot right in his core. Anyways.
It would have been better if he's just they hobble him. He's like, he's up there. He's up in that room.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Do you want us to kill you to save you the suffering or what? Yeah. It's yes, please kill me.
He's like, no, I'd rather scale a cliff wall before I die.
So they're up there and they get in this giant shootout. So they kill a bunch of people, get in a giant shootout. They blow the door off of where the Russian president is, grab him. The bodyguard shooting, and he is like, you guys go, don't worry about it. And I realize now that I'm saying don't worry about it a lot, but it's the movie. I feel like it's like the movie.
It is.
It's like the real feeling of the movie. Yep. It's making me say it a lot. Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
And so they start going out the window, a few of them, with the Russian president. And the bodyguard goes out and actually blows a bunch of people to smithereens.
Well, yeah, he gets in a shot.
Shot a whole bunch of times,
and then they shoot him about 1 million times, and they bust in this room, and this was such a funny scene. He is got both his middle fingers up in the air, but he also has a dozen grenade pins on his fingers.
Yep.
And then there was a fabulous explosion,
and then knocks 2 of the Navy SEAls out the window. The other 3 people are already out, or other 2 people or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys hits his face on his way down, which is not great.
No, it's not good for you.
No. You go to the concussion protocol at that point.
Definitely concussion. Yeah, they got the blue 10 out.
Yeah.
And they were like,
guys, hold on, stop shooting at us. We got the blue 10 out.
Yeah. And they were like, he is actually dead. So that's first one dead. And at this point, things are for real. They're playing for keeps.
One of the 2 people who die in the entire film, at this point,
yes, two people
I guess people can die in this film. Excellent.
Well, no, other than all the bad guys who do die.
The faceless bad guys that might as well just be creatures from another dimension, yes.
Right. So the 3 of them all hop into the water and they start swimming away to try to get to the extraction point. And they're running, and at one point there's like a million cars and like this one bad guy, this main bad guy, and they're like, I better blow up everyone but this one person, because they shoot everything else, but he still survives. They shoot all of the things, and this is where the young guy gets to become the hero again, because they're like trapped and they're like, basically, okay, we're done, and the president gets a bullet in the back and stuff. Yeah, his core definitely gets his core, but he's got a lot of core strength.
Yeah, kind of like deflects a little bit.
Yeah, and so they're all like, okay, we're dead, and this is too bad. And then all of a sudden, the young guy is like sniping away
from like a mile away
up in the woods.
But did you also notice here, when they were extracting the president, it was nighttime, and then during this, it was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, so they were going for a while.
How long were they running?
Hours. That's why they had the drill in the beginning, and the young guy wasn't good enough. So he can snipe from the woods.
I think the moral of the story really is cardio and the importance of cardio.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. And so they're able to run away again. They get to the extraction point.
But they leave the rookie.
Yeah, gotta leave I mean, he's up in the woods. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, whatever. We don't know where he's at. Yeah. We don't even know if that's him.
And so Gerard Butler, they get the mini sub out because they're up in this thing. I don't know. Was there anything that happened between them coming into the thing and the mini sub? Not really, right?
No, not a whole lot. This was mainly the ground game right here.
Right. And so then the mini sub comes up, and they're like, all right, we better get these people. And they're running towards them. There's this other Jeep coming with the bad guys, and they're shooting at them. Yeah. And they are able to get the president to this mini sub along with one of the guys, but the other guy gets shot and killed
in the water.
And they're like, okay, come on, get in here. And the father figure guy is like, my son is out there. Like, you're who? And he's like, my son. And then he dives back in the water, and he goes back. Yeah.
But dude, that mini sub was taking small arms fire like you would not believe.
Right. And then it dives, and because the submarine had to kind of like dive away, oh, they're going to crush depth. 100%.
Oh, yeah,
there's bolts flying. At this point, it's like, well, actually, I'm pretty sure I'm not concerned from this mini sub because the Russian president's still on it. So it's not going to crush.
That would be a funny ending. Boom.
It's like a Weekend at Bernie situation. They're like, no, he's still alive.
He's still okay. It's like, it looks like he's been crushed a little bit.
Yeah. And he's a little waterlogged.
Yeah. And so they get the Russian president on the ship, but at this point, because they kidnapped them, like, it's basically war. Like
definitely.
They're like, okay, well, yeah, you got the Russian president, but like, we're going to say you stole the Russian president, going to kill him, and now we have to go to war with you. So war is on.
Oh, for sure. And the guy who's staging the coup knows that the president's on this sub, and now he's, a mastermind. So he knows that if they blow that sub up or damage it, it looks like the Americans captured him. And that they lost him, or they killed him.
Killed him. Who's to say what happened to him on that submarine that blew up?
Nobody would know. Yeah.
So
they seal off the fjord, and then they send in a destroyer. And our Russian captain is nervous. He's like, "These boys don't miss."
Right, and they hit you with those depth charges. Here they call them mortar, whatever, rockets.
Yeah,
but like, I didn't even know that this was a thing. Now, like, whatever. Like, I thought it was like a World War II thing that's like gone. But no, they totally depth charge them 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
it's effective.
They're trying to survive. They're kind of evading these like mortar stuff. They kind of let because they kind of locked onto the mini sub. So they get everyone out of the mini sub, and they let the mini sub go, and that gets the brunt of the shots or whatever. And they're brutal. Like, and basically he flips a coin and it comes up heads again. And he's like, Russian captain, do you think the people up on that boat would trust you, right?
Because you said you trained all of them.
Although, first they kind of crash into the bottom. The first thing they do is they crash into the bottom of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing they do. They kind of stay down there. There's fires, there's leaks. Someone gets crushed by a torpedo, and so they know they can't. Yeah. So they know they can't shoot back, right? Because they tried to load stuff.
Because what's his face says he asks him like, "How soft is the bottom?" And he goes, "It's very soft.
Yeah. It's mud."
And it was there was a pretty funny line here because, we always talk about the torpedo room. They're like, what's the status of the torpedo room? So he's like, it's bad, sir.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. So everything's going to shit. It's basically every classic thing. At one point, they're trying to fix a leak and they have the wrench out. There's a wrench. Oh, when they were silent at one point, remember the silence? We missed that one. Yeah. So they're trying to be silent.
That. Yeah, because the acoustic mine sensors.
I missed it, yeah.
It was so good. That was actually really good, I thought.
Yeah, there was a one of the torpedoes was rattling. Somebody pulls a wrench out and they go to tighten it, and then all of a sudden
Butterfingers over there.
Yeah, drops the wrench. This was actually really funny in when I was watching it because all of a sudden it's slow motion and the wrench is going to the ground and it's about to hit. And if it hits, that mine's going off.
Right.
All of a sudden, last second, somebody snatches it right out of thin air. And this woman in the theater that I was in was like,
yeah, got her.
It's like, yes!
Yeah, they got her.
That much better.
They got her. Anyways, so we have some more wrenches. We have some more fires. We have some more leaks. We have someone crushed by a torpedo. Mini-subs already destroyed. Lucky coin is being flipped. They're on the bottom of the ocean. Crush depth. Nuts, bolts. Everything is popping everywhere.
We got water on the sub.
Everything.
I think we even had a fire for a second, right?
Yep. So they get everything under control. And he's basically like, okay, we can't launch anything at this. But they're coming back because they heard because when someone was getting crushed by a torpedo, they made a lot of noise. So now the destroyer is coming back. They thought maybe they would be able to evade it. And he goes to the Russian captain, like, how much do you think these people will trust you? You claimed that you trained everyone on that boat.
They could have shot it, but he looked over at the captain. He's like, probably hurt your feelings if I took down all those guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they had an opportunity to destroy it before, but they didn't take the opportunity. And he's like.
Like the deer, man.
I think they trust me. That's what he says. I'm pretty sure they trust me. And so
of course, that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and so he gets on the horn, and he's basically naming everyone on this fucking ship. He's like, you. I trained you. I'm the godfather of your child. I, taught you how to ride a bike. We played catch after work, etc., etc. And everyone's like has tears streaming in their face. We love this guy. We can't destroy him. And they're like, you better. The captain of that ship is like, you better, destroy these people. And the people on the weapons are like, you got to do it. If you're going to do it, you do it. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And they get and then eventually the Russian president gets on the line too. I'm the Russian president.
Should they have just put him on first? Like, hey guys, it's your boy. I'm on the sub. Don't blow it up.
What? It's the prez up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then this kind of like changes the tune a little bit. He's like, okay, I'm not going to destroy it. And they contact back to Frogman McGee over there in the Russian place. And it's like, we're not going to mess with the submarine. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Like we're on their side now.
And so the sub surfaces at this point, which is dangerous.
And they're like, all right, well, I guess got to take matters into our own hands. And so they bring out the big guns, literally giant guns, and they're going to shoot some, air to water or whatever, surface missiles straight at them. And like, okay, basically they're dead and war is about to start because they're going to fuck up this Russian president.
Yeah.
And they shoot him off. And Gerard Butler's like, what they didn't count on was this. And he flips his lucky coin, right?
Yeah.
And it flips in the air. And he's like, he catches it. It's like, there we go. Because then the ship, the destroyer, just shoots the missiles out of the sky.
At the very last second.
Right.
These missiles are, like a foot away from hitting that sub. And all of a sudden, the destroyer unloads on them.
And destroys them.
And they don't even get rocked by a little blast?
Nothing.
Come on.
They're just fine. It was really strange, a very, very odd moment in the movie where it's like, I'm confused. Also, why didn't the destroyer just launch when the guy was like, I'll destroy them for you? If they were going to launch missiles anyways, which was happened next, why didn't they just do it then? Like, not so fast.
Well, it doesn't make for a good, movie.
Yeah. Anyways, then the destroyer's like, we also have missiles, so fuck you. And sends them off, destroys Frogman.
Yeah. And at this point in the movie, in the theater I was in, the woman who gasped also started clapping.
Nice.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
Yes. 100%.
And also during this, we're getting cutscenes over because our Navy SEAL father left.
The
rookie is quickly being overcome by Russian soldiers.
By the evil guy, basically, right?
Yeah. And he's about to get just executed right there in the woods.
But instead, his father comes in, shoots them all, is like, hey, don't worry about it.
We can get that one last catch in.
He's like, Papa! And he's like, yes.
And he grabs him and cradles him in his arms and then runs away with him to the submarine.
Mm-hmm.
They all gather onto the submarine. He's like, hey, Gerard Butler, we're pretty much the same, aren't we? And they look in each other's eyes and they're like, we are the same.
And then Gerard Butler looks over at Michael Nordqvist and is like, we're pretty much the same. Here's my lucky coin.
And then Michael Norfolk's like, thanks for the lucky coin. And he's like, I'm going to flip it real quick. And then he flips it in like the worst, nerdiest, weirdest way possible. Like, hey. And I'm like, that was unfortunate.
Do you know what would have been great?
Second cut or third cut on that one.
Yeah. If he had flipped it and it dropped into the ocean.
Right.
Fuck. Sorry.
That would have been a really good way to end it. Instead, they end with a claustrophobia joke.
Yep. You're like, oh, man, I'm claustrophobic. And he climbs into the submarine.
And then that's it.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate how much Linda Cardellini and Common are high-fiving. And Gary Oldman's like shaking his head like, I guess these young guns know what they're doing.
Yeah. And then Linda Cardellini and Common are like, both at the same time. They're like, if only I had a significant other to share this with. And then they gasp and they go, oh, my God. And then they start making out.
Well, yeah, because they look at their phones and they're both, they Tinder matched each other.
Yeah, they did. They Tinder matched. It was crazy. Anyways.
Wow. But gotta get those Tinder plugs in.
Got to. Not a sponsor.
All right.
Yeah, we spent a long time on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, come on. Could we not? We had to. There's so much to chew and eat in this one.
Oh, definitely.
Not just chew. You can eat it.
I mean, I ate it. I loved it. Oh, should we go to reviews?
We got to do ratings, yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
So who wants to start?
I could start.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to start.
All right. This movie, like we said, has literally everything we always joke about and talk about that we're looking for, except for, well, there's almost a mutiny, but I told you I'd call it a land mutiny.
Yeah, land mutiny.
We got that. We didn't have any bananas.
No bananas. Yeah, that's too bad.
The visuals were...
I feel like he could have eaten a banana at some point, right?
I know. It would have been funny.
Yeah.
If just during the scene where the guy's underneath the torpedo and then the camera pans over, there's just dude eating a banana.
Or Gerard Butler's just like macking on a banana at one point.
Mm-hmm. Like, what's going on? Visuals, I thought it was very good. Storyline was super cliche. We've seen this a bunch. Everything was very predictable.
100, yep.
But did I have fun watching this movie? Yes. I mean, it's... You know the storyline. It's so predictable, but it's still fun to watch. Although I thought... Did you guys notice that it was kind of like miniature... Not maybe the best miniature work in some of those underwater scenes? Specifically the acoustic field?
I assume it was all CGI.
Yeah, I thought it was CGI as well, but it probably was some miniatures in there too.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't there be? But
maybe it was all CGI, but I don't know. Fun to watch, 6.5.
So, Patrick, you want to go?
Sure. Basically, I would say like there was like a third of the film. It wasn't quite the back third, but it was like a third of the film I really, really enjoyed. The sub action was superb. It was actually like, I wish there would be more movies like this because I actually was very entertained when they were like in the sub doing sub things. But then there was like the extraction team, which was like the most worthless storyline I've ever seen in my life. I hated it. They might as well just had gone full Steel Sharks and just had the extraction team on the sub and then leave the sub and get the Russian president and bring them back to the sub, if you know what I mean.
But then they get kidnapped and they're on a different sub.
Yes.
Sure. Multiple subs, like dual subs. But regardless, then, so like the good of it is like the sub action is like superb. And it's, I don't know, I can't even imagine what other good sub movies have come out in the last like 20 years, basically, that could compete with
not many that are like, yeah, not really many that are like more of the traditional submarine films. Most of them are weird things like Black Sea and stuff where there's a submarine, but it's more kind of just, it's not like a battle because it's not like during a war or like a potential war. Yeah.
And my major criticism was the lack of deaths meant a lack of drama. Gerard Butler had he had a lot of tough decisions to make, but the decisions didn't seem tough because he nailed every single one of them.
We had a lucky coin, so.
Yeah, he had a lucky coin. And so that kind of like also like detracted from his part of the film. Like I actually really liked Gerard Butler in the film. I thought he actually did a lot better than I expected him to.
Looking better this time too. He was looking thin.
He was looking
thin.
svelte.
He wasn't.
I made a joke in my
large,
recap.
Yeah.
Because I ended up showing like a video of him explaining Scottish slang, and he has the most ridiculous moon face I've ever seen in my life.
So he put it right back on.
He looks like Blake Bortles. It is absurd how like fat, kind of like beer fat he is. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get to is I really wanted to like the film, and I was going to go like, if I was going to do it like honestly as like a film, I would actually say 6.5. I like the film a lot more. I actually am surprised it got such bad reviews. But I'm going to bump it up to 7 because of the awesome sub-action. That's what I'm going to do.
Ooh. And I'm going to be coming in on top because I was planning and will continue to plan to give this a 7.5.
There we go.
I thought this film was for dumb people. It is for stupid people. But sometimes people just want to be dumb, even stupid, even big brain people like me and you, Kyle. Yeah. And Patrick, I guess. Even though we got big giant brains, sometimes we like to sit back and we'll just watch a movie with some submarine action. It's got a lot of submarine action on it. I did think Gerard Butler was probably the best performance I've seen him give in a little while. Mm-hmm. Usually he is terrible and kind of an obnoxious garbage person and giant and weird looking. This time I actually was like, he doesn't look out of place as like a human shaped person. Like it's actually okay. And the only thing I would say is that everything was very straightforward and everything was very simple. Mm-hmm. There was anything complex. Like, it's not like Crimson Tide where you get to grapple with some questions about morality and what you need to do. Like, this is just one of the stupid, continue. And it wasn't, it didn't have anything wrong with it. It wasn't like London Has Fallen where it was like racist and garbage. Like, it just was a perfectly reasonable action film with a cliche storyline. And a lot of submarine stuff that we like to watch. Mm-hmm. 7.5.
All right.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked we didn't see more Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to end up being a bad guy.
Yeah, that would be a twist bad guy working with the.
It seemed like if you think about Geostorm, that's kind of where it would have been heading, right? With Ed Harris was the bad guy in that one.
Yep.
But
maybe that's where it was going, and Gerard Butler said, "Wait a minute, guys.
Yeah, maybe
I've done one like this."
Well, it's definitely possible that they cut it. That they were just like, "This doesn't work. Like we can't. No. Just to have him be like a war guy, like it's fine.
Yeah,
whatever." Like there's definitely a possibility that there was a draft of this where Gary Oldman was a bad person. That kind of that residue continued to be there.
I could see that.
Anyways, I'm going to get into some trivia, and I'm doing this all on the fly, so gotta see how the magic works. So this was one of Michael Nykvist's last films. He died in 2017 of cancer. One of the producers as well died of cancer in 2018. So 2 people involved with the film died before its release. And that's in part because it was filmed actually not that recently. It was filmed in I think 2016, released in 2018. So it did sit on the shelf a little bit, trying to find the right moment to get released.
So why not right before Halloween?
I think 2018. I'm pretty sure what happened is last year they were listening to our podcast and they were like, "This is it."
Yep.
So
holy crap!
They went through October last year, and then they were like, "Wait, Geostorm's coming out. We have to clear out from this other Gerard Butler film."
Yeah. So because even this in 2015, it was reported that when Bill Walker, the governor of Alaska, signed legislation ending the film subsidy up there, that Hunter Killer canceled its filming up there and moved it elsewhere. So this is 2015 when it was preparing to start filming.
Yeah.
Leading actor Gerard Butler and the director both sailed aboard the USS Houston SSN 713 from May 6th to May 9th for research purposes.
Really?
Yep. And I remember, I think I may have used that as a news story on the website, or I guess, adjacent to the Bad Movie Twins. Let's see. Tony Scott was at one point set to direct. So was McGee. So the 2 different directors. Tony Scott being, of course, the director of our beloved Crimson Tide. Was that right? He directed, yeah. And so he was well-known fan of submarines. So,
oh man, well, just look at the movies he's put out.
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua also was attached to direct at one point. He's the Training Day director, I think so. He directed Training Day. The writer
is David Ayers,
right?
Who's an actual submariner.
Yeah, Fuqua was the director of Training Day.
Okay,
and then both Butler and Oldman had played the role of Dracula previously on screen. So Oldman was in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Butler was in Dracula 2000.
So, good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, one's directed by one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Francis Ford Coppola. The other one is Dracula 2000. So
anytime you put anything, like that.
2000 at the end?
Yeah.
Not great.
Dracula 2K5.
Yeah.
So
I'd watch that.
What other actors who portrayed vampires in film may have been good in a role in this one? What about Robert Pattinson from Twilight?
Oh, he would be the XO.
Yes, he would be the shit-eating XO.
The guy you hate.
Yeah. What about Tom Cruise? Interview with a Vampire.
Could he have done an American accent as the Russian captain, maybe?
Who, Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, Robin Patterson. Right, Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise, yeah. Just ignore the Russian accent. He's the Russian captain, but he has an American Tom Cruise accent.
Okay, there you go.
But common, right?
Oh, I would put Tom Cruise as the rookie SEAL.
Yeah, I think
there we go.
Or the, I mean,
now the father figure.
Now the father figure for sure. Yeah,
that's true.
I think the rookie would have been Kellen Lutz from Twilight.
Yeah,
we love Kellen Lutz. Shout out to Kellen Lutz.
Love you, please Kellen Lutz. Podcast. Come back.
And then we're just gonna finish up with oh God, what's his name?
Brad Pitt.
Cage.
Brad Pitt was in an interview with what about Eddie Murphy? He was in Vampire in Harlem or whatever.
I don't want to say common, but how about the captain? An old time Eddie Murphy role, trying to get back as Gerard Butler's character, get the drama going.
That would be so strange. I can't imagine Eddie Murphy doing a role like that.
How about the Oldman character?
Now that would be funny.
Like funny, right? Kind of a limited scope. All you have to do is yell a bunch about war.
And then I'm going to finish up. Well, not finish up, but John Malkovich, because he was in that. He played Dracula, whatever.
John
Russian
Malkovich
captain.
for sure.
Oh yeah,
smash the
he would be good.
Got to break
whatever
that
his accent is in Rounders.
And then what about Ed Harris?
Well, Ed Harris is our captain, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think that's right. I mean,
what vampire movie was he in?
He was in Vampire.
He was Dracula 2K5.
Starring Ed Harris.
I was trying to think of one that involved buff vampires, but I couldn't think of it because that would be the
Buff the vampire.
Buffy.
Yeah,
Buffy the vampire.
Buffo the vampire slayer.
Yeah,
Buffo.
Perfect.
The vampire slayer, maybe.
Nailed it. All right, and then I'm just going to finish up with a quick Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom. Phantom's engaged, sir.
So, Gary Oldman was in a movie called Criminal, which I come across a lot when I try to do the analysis of figuring this out. It's claimed to be a submarine film. I never really knew it was a submarine film. And I double checked, and for sure they're submarine, because in the IMDb goofs, they make fun of some of the submarine action in that.
Really?
Yeah, as being like not accurate. So definitely a submarine in that one. Tommy Lee Jones is in that film, and he's also in Mechanic Resurrection because he owns a submarine in that film. And Tommy Lee Jones, Mechanic Resurrection, we've used before because we've used that to go from Statham over to Fate of the Furious because it's our fate to get to that point. And from there, we can go to all kinds of stuff. I mean, we can go to Iron Giant and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've done that before.
Possibilities are limitless, man.
Literally endless.
It's crazy.
And that's it. That's Phantom Zone.
Wow.
I could pretty much do that off the Doom.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for some subs worldwide.
It's subs worldwide.
So we just watched Hunter Killer, so I figured why not do an actual Hunter Killer submarine?
Woo!
I know. How inventive. So this is a Russian attack submarine, the very first Russian nuclear submarine, and it's the month of November, so we're doing the November class submarine.
Ooh, I don't love that name, but
no, it's not the best. It doesn't instill fear.
It's not the Dracula or Vampire class. We've had some really great classes.
There have been some good ones. So these were in service from 1958 to 1991.
Pretty good.
There were 13 of them built. All of them have been disposed of except for one, the K3, which is a museum now in St. Petersburg.
Perfect.
So for the specs, they were 360.25 feet long. They had, for their engines, 2 water-cooled 70 megawatt reactors with steam-powered generators that could generate 35,000 horsepower. It's an okay amount of horses.
That's a lot of horses.
Yeah. They had 2 So listen to this. There's so much in this. So they have that. They also have 2 turbine generators that can generate 1,400 kilowatts. They also had 2 diesel generators, which could generate 460 horsepower, along with 2 electric motors that could generate 450 horsepower. They did have a variation that had 2 73 megawatt reactors, no diesel generators. So with all this power, you might be wondering, how fast can they go?
I am wondering that. How fast do they go?
So this is kind of odd. On the surface, 14.7 knots.
Great.
Submerged, 30.2.
30.2 knots.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of knots.
Yeah.
They can go faster under the water, though.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Which is something that, I mean, I guess, we'd see that when we're making the transition to nuclear stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
But this is also kind of odd because, well, I guess, it's one of the first ones, but nowadays endurance is limitless pretty much,
right.
With food supply being the main factor. But endurance here is 60 days. They went down to a test depth of 1,115 feet.
1,115.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they didn't want to push that to 120.
Nope. Couldn't even make it to 1150.
Interesting.
Wouldn't do it. It held 106 people. For the weapons, it had 8 533 millimeter bow torpedo tubes. I can't even put that in perspective because I am American. For the design of this, there were over 135 Soviet organizations that were active in doing that. It was originally designed to go into American naval bases and destroy them with a thermonuclear gas steam-powered T-15 torpedo. This torpedo was a 1,550 millimeter caliber weapon, which is huge. It was 23.
I like that they're still doing calibers at that point.
Yeah. It's just call it really big. 23.5 meters long, and it had a range of 50 kilometers. These are much noisier than the diesel electrics and a lot noisier than the first American nuclear submarines. And the K-3, the one that is a museum, was the first Soviet sub to reach the North Pole.
Wow.
In 1962.
When did you reach the North Pole for the first time?
I think I was 3 days old.
Ah, okay. So 1963 as well.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, so when are we going to St. Petersburg then?
I could free up my weekend.
And I think, once we get a sponsor, I think we've done enough to probably warrant getting maybe cool.
Yeah.
So one of these beers on if we make fun of them a little bit more, they should sponsor us.
Right.
And we go to St. Petersburg.
I like that.
Yeah.
Here, we only need a few $1,000s to fly over to Russia. Check out a sub to send us on vacation.
Instead of upgrading any of the equipment,
yeah,
you just use it to do that instead.
I'll just meet you there on my dime.
Yeah.
It's a Ryanair. It's pretty cheap.
Patrick, you have any game?
I could go through. I'm looking at Gerard Butler's 4 upcoming films, and I guess what I'll do is I'll just ask you each, buy or sell. Gerard Butler's next. Okay, this is written and directed by Jamie Foxx.
Great. Buy. Sorry, what?
Called All-Star Weekend. Two buddies.
Yeah, buy.
Two buddies form a rivalry over their favorite American basketball player.
Buy.
Yep.
And so wait,
is he American in this? Butler film?
Yeah, hold on a second.
I assume he's American, and I will point out, by the way, Jamie, that this is going to be released February 22nd, 2019.
So we're watching it. Also a crossover episode. Please be a submarine. Please have a submarine.
It's Gerard Butler, Robert Downey Jr., and Benicio del Toro.
Wait,
you've got to be kidding me!
Too much to process.
Yeah. So buy
and directed by Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, and written. So buy from you, Jamie. I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
Okay, Kyle.
I'll buy it.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
So hopefully there's a submarine because we can do another live episode for that. Angel
that would be
has
so amazing if there was a submarine in it just randomly.
Also, apparently 2019, Angel Has Fallen.
So
this is obviously the sequel to both Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen.
London Has Fallen is a racist film, and I will not be buying its sequel.
Secret Service agent Mike Banning is framed for the attempted assassination of the president and must evade his own agency and the FBI as he tries to uncover the real threat.
Just sounds like Mission Impossible, really.
Does not involve Aaron Eckhart. It looks like probably Morgan Freeman is the president.
Is now the president? Yeah. Okay.
So sell, I'm hearing.
I am selling because I'm concerned it's going to be racist, but I have to check what the terrorists in this case are.
It appears to be there's Piper Perabo, probably not the terrorist. Jada Pinkett Smith, Nick Nolte. Wow. Yeah, it's unclear. There's no one that stands out as
unclear
bad guy.
The terrorist.
That I need to.
Yeah, it sounds like a Mission Impossible knockoff. They decided to go Mission Impossible, where it's like he's being framed, but by who? Now he has to evade his own people.
Okay, I got two more.
Okay,
so, Naya, Legend of the Golden Dolphin.
Dolphin? Did you say dolphin?
Dolphin. Yes, the animal.
Dolphin.
Yeah, so this is 100% could have a submarine in it, and I'm buying it.
This is an action film following the adventures of Naya, the Golden Dolphin Princess, and her mission to save Earth. So probably no submarines. It is an animated film.
Disagree.
Gerard
Definitely
Butler
submarines.
plays King Kula.
That's pretty
King
cool.
of the submarine.
Yeah, probably he has a submarine.
Yeah. So this also stars James Franco, Megan Fox, Daryl Hannah, Kate Winslet. Wow.
I'm now selling. Although I love Kate Winslet.
Owen Wilson, Whoopi Goldberg.
These names are not instilling confidence. None of these. This sounds like a Norm of the North type situation here.
Yeah,
it's probably made by some Spanish animated studio.
Probably. Although the country is listed as USA. It's Magic Factory Productions. I can't tell you what that means. And the last one is Afterburn. This is my favorite. A group of post-apocalyptic treasure hunters search for ancient relics on Earth that has been nearly half destroyed by a massive...
Wait, on Earth, or could it be in the ocean?
It says on Earth. Half destroyed by a massive solar flare. Director is Byung-Gil Jung.
Nice.
And only Gerard Butler is currently attached.
All right, buy.
I'm buying that one.
Yeah, this director has directed basically nothing else as far as I can tell. The Villainous is the only other one, which is not a real film. So there we go.
Buy.
You got to start somewhere.
Buying this.
Yeah.
This Byung-Gil Jung auteur. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that they just decide that one of the relics has to be in the ocean. And then we end up in there.
That's the final relic. That's how they save the whole planet.
The final relic is a nuclear submarine.
How do they get? How would they get the crew together?
No, it doesn't matter. What they're trying to get is the nuclear power, because that will bring Earth back to life. Then they can get the sun back online with the nuclear power from the submarine.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
I gotta say, I'm pretty sure the last relic is what Gerard Butler's packing in his pants. Thanks for listening to Submersion. Find us on SoundCloud and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Can't get enough of us? Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. And if you like what you heard, please go ahead and give us a rating.